Hey, soul survivors, we are going to talk about the mind of the narcissist and what is really going on. So, have you ever wondered what really is inside their head? What are they thinking? Why do they crave this attention so intensely, but crumble whenever they're criticized? So, today we're going to step into their mental world, not to excuse them, but to understand them through the lens of psychological science. So, I do want to say that in the comments, I will post how to connect with my new community. And we do have people that are of the cluster B inside there seeking help, seeking connection, seeking love. So if we can understand people, as long as people are trying to get better, my job is to help everybody with their mental health struggles. So if you're struggling, join that community. But I wanted to talk, it's not just about arrogance or vanity, it's about psychological structure, early emotional wounds, and brain based patterns that shape how this narcissist sees themselves and everyone around them. Now, the core of the narcissist thinking, it's a fragile self behind a mask. They can seem quite confident, but narcissism, especially a narcissistic personality disorder, is defined in the DSM, which is the Diagnostical and Statistical Manual on Mental Disorders, as a pattern of grandiosity, need for admiration, lack of empathy. But behind all that confidence, there's a deep sense of inadequacy. And if you join the group, you're going to get firsthand responses to this, what they really feel. So, back in 1971, Dr. Heinz Kohut and also Otto Kernberg in 1975 had showed that narcissists often develop their traits as defense mechanisms, psychological shields to protect a fragile sense of self. Now, when this child grows up in inconsistent love, excessive praise, or harsh criticism, they may build this false self, an image of perfection to survive emotionally. And that's why they must see themselves as special, superior, and admired. It's not optional to them, it's survival. So imagine a child who only received affection when they achieved something, a trophy, a good grade, some applause. And this child learns I am only lovable when I am the best. And as the adult, that becomes if I'm not admired, I am worthless to people. So they chase admiration like oxygen and attack anyone who threatens their image. So let's talk about their thought patterns. Distortion, I dealt with projection today, and control. Narcissists process reality through this distorted lens. And there was some cognitive research done back in 2001 by Morph and Rodwalt. And they found that narcissists are often driven by self-regulatory cycles. Comment if you have noticed cycles. Sometimes they're every couple weeks or every couple months. Or I saw somebody post it was like every couple years. There is a cycle. It's mind-blowing in hindsight. Constant mental loops to maintain superiority. And this is a big one, avoid shame. So here are some of these thought distortions that are pretty common within the narcissistic mind. A lot of them have black and white thinking, all or nothing. You're either with me or you're against me. They see relationships in extremes, either perfect or worthless. There's no middle ground to them. That's why they can just turn it off like a switch. They do that projection. They attribute their own flaws to others. If they feel insecure, they'll accuse you of being jealous or needy. And they have this entitlement bias. Rules don't apply to me. This isn't just arrogance, it's how they justify their behavior that preserves their self image. Also, the externalization of blame. Admitting fault threatens their fragile ego. So, responsibility is often pushed outward. You made me do that. Have you ever heard that from your narcissist? So, let's talk about the neuroimaging studies. And this is what I like. I like getting into the deep uh, studies of the brain on what really is going on, not just assumptions or opinions, but what we see scientifically. So it shows that people with high narcissistic traits often display reduced gray matter volume in the anterior insula. And this is the brain region that's linked to empathy and emotional self awareness. That literally means that they process empathy differently. They don't have the same brain structure. So when we're like, will they change? Um, It's like asking if somebody without a limb is going to change. They don't have that part. They might have some coping mechanisms, but the emotional world of the narcissist, shame and the fear of insignificance. Underneath the grandiosity lies one powerful emotion, shame, and it drives almost every narcissistic behavior, the manipulation, the superiority, the control. Now, psychologist June Tagnes in 1990 researched some information on shame and guilt, and it explains that shame isn't just I did something bad. It's that I am bad, is what they feel. Not that they did something, but who they are is bad. So for narcissists, this shame is so intolerable that they dissociate from it. They build a mental fortress of perfection to keep the shame buried. But every criticism, rejection, or even perceived slight, it'll crack that wall. And that's why they overreact to small things. A simple disagreement feels like an attack on their identity. That's why it's so hard to talk to them. They must restore their image immediately through anger, gaslighting, silent treatment. So you might tell them, I felt hurt when you ignored my message. And you're going to hear, you're not perfect. Their mind translate that into danger, attack, and detected. So that's what they hear. Let me reword that. I feel hurt and ignored that you didn't respond to me. And they will hear that we are telling them you're not perfect. You messed up. You suck. So they lash out, not from power, but from panic. And they don't truly trust intimacy. Narcissists have a real hard time with the true closeness, and they have a fear of vulnerability. To be close to someone means that everything's going to be seen, flaws and all. And that's terrifying for them when somebody depends on this illusion of perfection. So, according to Dr. Elsa Roningsham, back in 2016 from Harvard Medical School, narcissists often operate from a constant fear of being exposed as inadequate. So they control others to feel controlled. And they manipulate to feel safe. They perform confidence to mask that fear. They overcompensate. But here's the paradox: the stronger their mask becomes, the emptier they feel inside. They crave love, but sabotage it. They want admiration, but because they fear rejection, that's where that sabotage comes in. They build a kingdom of mirrors, but there's no reflection that feels real. So, understanding how the narcissist thinks doesn't mean that you are the one who needs to fix them. You can't fix them, that has to come from them. But it means that you can start to see them clearly. You can stop personalizing their attacks and recognize that their cruelty often comes from fragility, not strength. And empathy for a narcissist doesn't mean staying. It means understanding that their behavior is a reflection of their inner chaos, not your worth. So the next time the narcissist tries to draw you into their mental maze, remember this: their world runs on illusions. Yours can run on truth. And knowledge, that's your freedom. So it's up to you if you want to stay with a narcissist. Just know what you're dealing with. And boundaries are extremely important. Boundaries will weed out the people that aren't supposed to be in our lives. And there has to be a balance. We can't just keep giving empathy if we don't have empathy back. So I hope you join the community. We'd love to have you there and to get insight and to encourage each other to do better, to love more, and understand each other. Topic requests are always welcome. I'm Cynthia Schiller, and I'll see you in the next video.